Everybody, just wanted to put my 2 cents in on the NFL controversy. I'm a fan. I've been a fan for a long time. I've been a fan since I was young. I like the sport, the physicality of it, the strategy, the schemes, everything involved with it appeals to me, and it's entertaining. But it's really disappointing what's going on with the league right now. First off, I just want to say that, I believe in protesting. In a free society, that is the God-given right of people to voice their grievances. And I have zero problem with people seeing problems and wanting to say something about it and wanting to make change, positive change. And I also want to say that I do understand the issue that is being discussed, or at least it was being discussed, the racial tensions, the idea of unequal justice. And I do see that the justice system has some problems. It does, and it has some problems in regards to race. I mean, I think that we can question how deep the problems are, how are they institutional, or is it just bad apples, that sort of thing. And that's I think that's where the argument lies. And but there's definitely some issues that we need to discuss. And I also want to say that I don't think that players who kneel during the national anthem are slighting the military. I don't think that they are unpatriotic. I don't think that they don't care that soldiers go off to war and don't come home for the rights that they have. If I had to guess, I think that they probably do care. And so I know that the motives, I think for the most part, are pretty good. But that being said, I have to question this type of protest. When you think about it, or you see it, I mean, you just look and you say they're kneeling for the national anthem. I just don't understand exactly what that necessarily means in regards to this specific issue. I mean, do they have a problem with the country as a whole? Do they have a problem with the national anthem itself? Do they have a problem with the flag? I mean, what exactly are they protesting? You just cannot tell by this manner of protest. They could be protesting anything. Violence against women, LGBT, global warming, lead in drinking water. I mean, what are they protesting? And you just can't tell. That's the problem with this protest. And so the overall point that I want to say about the specific protest that's being done now is it's a stupid protest, because it doesn't actually explain the problem. And I'm not saying the people who are doing it are stupid. We all have done stupid things. But if you're doing this protest as an NFL player, you're participating in a stupid protest. And again, so we all know what the issue is, that it's police brutality. But again, you wouldn't know that by just looking at the protest. You just see them kneeling for the national anthem, or sitting or whatever, not even coming out of the locker room, this sort of thing. So are they protesting the whole country? Are they saying the whole country's racist? I guess there's some grand irony here, because they are protesting. We just got out of the midst of this, or I guess we're not out of it, but one of the biggest stories was the Confederate statues. I mean, are they confused by what flag? I've never seen a Confederate flag being flown at these games. And last I checked my history book, the flag that they're objecting to, or kneeling when the anthem's being played, was the one on the side of the people trying to get freedom for slaves. So if the issue is racial inequality for black people, again, the manner of protest seems very strange to me, that you would protest this nation. And you know, the early game between the Jags and the Ravens, and it just really exemplified the stupidity of this protest. When you're going to kneel for the national anthem of your own country, and then stand for the national anthem of the UK. I would love for someone to ask these players who did exactly that, the ones who kneeled for ours and stood for theirs. I would love for them to be asked why they chose to get up for the Britain or the UK's national anthem. Because I would just love to hear what they had to say. Because I guarantee you it has something to do with respect. Either they didn't want to disrespect the nation, the host nation. They didn't want to disrespect the fans who came out to see American football. You know, which begs the question then, is it okay to disrespect the American football fan? Because implicit in that is the idea that you know exactly what you're doing, and it has something to do with respect. And so Trump starts talking. And listen, I don't like that he jumped into, I think he's got more things to worry about than sports. I don't like it when Trump, I don't like that Trump did it. I didn't like it when Obama did it. But this whole situation has been going on for a year. And so if Trump's going to say something, who cares? I mean, really, who cares? Is this some surprise that Donald Trump has a mouth on him and, you know, says some somewhat outrageous things? Is this some shock to everybody? And we live in a nation where Hollywood stars can sit there and run their mouths at their Hollywood shows, and now athletes are joining in and doing the same thing. So, you know, everybody's got an opinion about how the country should be run. You know, Donald Trump is just as much entitled to his opinion about other things. I wish he'd keep to whatever the job of the presidency and not talk about this stuff. But the fact that he has an opinion and wants to say something at a campaign rally, I don't think it's that big of a friggin' deal. And the idea that all of a sudden you had a lot of players who couldn't have cared less, seemingly. I mean, they didn't kneel, they didn't protest until Trump had something to say. And what did Trump say? Everybody knows what Trump said. I mean, these are grown men on the field. Were their feelings hurt by what Trump said? But they disagree with him? So what? I mean, this doesn't make any sense at all. Have you heard these people trash talk to each other? Do you know how they talk to each other in the locker room? I mean, were their sensibilities hurt by Trump's? Were their precious feelings hurt? These are grown, athletic men. And they're acting like spoiled babies here. I mean, so what? You don't like what Trump said. All of a sudden you have to go crap on the flag? Or this, again, I'm not... I don't think they are thinking that when they do that. But they need to understand what it looks like. And I want to ask people out there who support them and the NFL players, I'd love to ask them this question. Where were you when the NFL was threatening states, Georgia, Texas, Arizona, North Carolina, threatening them with boycotts? The NCAA was doing the same thing, trying to force these states to make laws to where men can go into women's bathrooms. That didn't bother your sensibilities there, did it? But Trump's supposed to stay out of sports, so there's some sort of a wall of separation of sport and state. If that's the case, then where were you at when the NFL was interjecting itself into bathroom laws? Bathrooms. Did the NFL have anything better to do? Worry about men being in women's bathrooms? Where were you all, you NFL players, when that was going on? I didn't see nobody taking any stands. That was your league, especially when they're sitting there hypocritically coming down on all of these athletes, jumping at every chance to say that they've been beating women. And I'm not saying they did or didn't. But if protection of women is some sort of an issue for NFL, boy, they sure wasn't showing it when they were going after these states to try to get men into women's bathrooms, were they? Where was the players' union pointing out the hypocrisy of that? And let me add this last thing. We all know what the protest is about. We all know what the grievance is. Not by how they're protesting. But here's the deal. Where's the solution? Are any of these players giving us any idea about how to fix the problem? You just want to run your mouth about how bad the country is, but then don't give any solutions. Nobody's got any solutions for this stuff. I mean, it's such a terrible situation. I would think they'd be probably trying to problem solve. I mean, a lot of these people come out of the inner city, don't they? Give us an idea. What are cops supposed to do? And so here's a solution. Here's something. And Colin Kaepernick can start this because he's jobless anyway. He can go to school now. He can get a criminal justice degree, and he can go be a cop, and he can show everybody how the inner city's supposed to be patrolled, and he can show how you're supposed to treat people out there. And all these other NFL players, they can quit their millionaire job. And I don't have a problem with them making money. I really don't. I don't care. They have a skill. They get paid. It's called capitalism. I don't have a problem with it. I know a lot of people do. I don't have a problem with it. But if it's such a big deal, quit your job and go become a cop. And you can show everybody how this is supposed to be done. How it's supposed to be done. And so, I just want to say this. Look, there's a lot of great people in the NFL, and I don't want to broad brush the whole league. The same way people in the league broad brush the whole country. I don't want to do that. But I will say this. I really don't feel like I can support the NFL anymore until they get their act together. And for all of you who agree with me, God bless America. And for all of you left-wing, selectively outraged, triggered snowflakes who wear football pads and play a big manly game but cry about your feelings and name calling, God save the Queen.